Hi everybody, namaste to you and welcome. Today I want to speak about making the best out of the worst and really getting to use your emotional field, your mind and your actions in order to improve certain circumstances in your life. Now, the first thing to realize is the fact that you're not perfect. Okay, this is what I'm realizing within my own self, in my self-expression, in my state of beingness, in the circumstances in my life. I am not perfect, okay, and when I get to accept this, I get to actually shift the game in a different way, because there is perfection in imperfection. Everything is perfect in its imperfection. And what I'm realizing is the fact that so many of the things that I have to deal with in my life are the things that I need to deal with myself, okay, are the things that I need to deal with in my own way of perceiving stuff, okay. So it means that so many of the things that you have to resolve in your life are the things that you need to resolve with yourself. And they knew in ancient times that the secret was within themselves, okay. They knew that everything that they needed externally was already found within themselves. So my suggestion is, if you really want to make the best out of the worst in your life, you gotta really look at yourself honestly and get to see what your mental field is about, get to see what your emotional field is about, get to see what your beliefs are about, and get to actually question these things, okay. Because I believe that when you question something, you also open the potential for an answer, okay. So my suggestion is, if there is something happening in your life that doesn't resonate with you, if there is something happening in your life that actually wounds you, go within yourself and question yourself, okay. What is my perception towards the things in my life? What is my mindset about certain circumstances in my life? What is my view? How do I actually view these certain situations? And it's usually about perception, okay, because how you perceive a thing, you receive a thing. And we live in a reality that is connected into oneness. It means that the outer and the inner are actually one thing, okay. So it means that with your mind you actually have the power to change certain outer circumstances, because you are not the victim of your own circumstances. Instead, you are actually creating the circumstances in your life with how we choose to actually view and perceive these things, okay. It means that, again, you are not the victim of your own circumstances. Anything that is happening inside in your life, you're actually not the victim of those circumstances. So it's about really getting to find a new way of expressing yourself and really find a new way of how you actually choose to see life, because it's all mental, you know. The reality that we are experiencing right here, right now on planet Earth is actually mental, okay. There is the principle of mentalism that says that everything is actually mental. It means that how you view stuff, you actually receive stuff. So my suggestion is, try as much as possible to actually get to shift your mind in a more positive way. How do we do this? Well, first we accept a circumstance. We acknowledge a circumstance, then we accept a circumstance. Then we get to actually change it with our own minds, okay? So yeah, remember, life is not perfect. And whatever you are experiencing in your life, it is because you have attracted that thing. So what I'm realizing is the fact that the more that I change my energy, and the more that I change my vibrational frequency into a higher state, is the more that I get to actually fix the things into my life. And I'm realizing that it's also about self-expression, okay. What kind of game are you playing? What are your actions? What are your feelings? And what are your thoughts? Because when you live in a higher vibrational state of consciousness, when you live in a higher harmony, you realize that life gets actually easier, because now you have raised your vibration, you have raised your state of consciousness, and you get to actually build and create the reality that you are experiencing with your own inner world, okay. And also, if you are experiencing something negative in your life, if you are experiencing something that is actually wounding you, my suggestion is, try as much as possible to go within and realize that everything is actually okay. Try as much as possible to look at yourself honestly and get to actually accept, because I believe that when we accept something, we also change it towards the better. When we accept something negative, we also turn it into something positive. And this is actually the alchemist, okay. This is the alchemist. The alchemist knows that when he accepts something negative, he gets to actually turn it into something positive. So really, it's about being smart about it. okay? And try as much as possible to actually not fight it, because when you fight something, when you resist something, you actually create a disturbance. When you fight something, you actually create resistance. So my suggestion is, so as much as possible, to actually let things flow into your life, okay? Let your inner world flow, and this is actually the most important thing, because it's not necessarily what happens on the outside, it's more likely about what happens on the inside. And when you change the inner world, your outer world will change as well, because the inner and the outer are connected into one consciousness, one energy, one vibration. So change the inner world, because that's all that you gotta do. If you really want to change a circumstance in your life, you gotta change your inner world, okay? As within, so without. This is actually the principle of correspondence. What you are experiencing on the outside is reflecting what you are experiencing on the inside, okay? So my suggestion is, go within and make the change from the inside out, not the outside in, because now you are becoming the victim of your own circumstances. But change the inner world and watch magic happen. Also discipline, you know, also discipline, because I'm realizing that when I'm disciplined, I'm more connected to my higher self. I'm more connected to love. So if you are experiencing something negative in your life, get disciplined and get into that state of motivation, because when you go there, you actually allow energy to flow in a different way. Okay, you allow energy to flow in a different way. Okay, so these are my tools on making the best out of the worst. Yeah, it's not easy. Okay, trust me, it's not easy, and sometimes we are being played by our own minds, guys. We are being played by our own minds. But what I'm realizing is the fact that so many of the things that I need to deal with in my life are the things that I need to deal with myself. So go within and make the inner change, and you will see magic happen. Express yourself, get disciplined, accept circumstances, and change your inner world, because there is no out there, there is only in here. So the only way out is actually in. Okay, go within or you go without. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment. Also, if you wish to be part of my spiritual podcast called Consciously Awakening, feel free to send me a message. And if you want to know your spiritual self and your source self and want to work with me on a one-on-one level, also feel free to send me a message. Guys, thanks so much for watching, much peace, and see you on what is coming up next. Bye bye.